much needed days off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday with the family up in the mountain community outside of Reno. I'm actually going a little bit early today on this Generate call because I've got some calls I've got to catch up with this Tuesday here right at 9 a.m. I'm already going to be a little late too. But as always, wanted to spend just a few minutes with you here in the Generate community. One, as a reminder, we've got an interview later today with John Israel, who is just a complete badass. He's nicknamed Mr. Thank You. He's been on all kinds of national media when he decided that he was going to write like 5 thank you cards every day for an entire year. And then he wrote a book about the experience, and it's kind of become this whole movement. So as you can hear, my kids are even excited. They're coming running down the stairs right now to hear all about Mr. Thank You. But what's our goal here in the Generate group, really? It's just to give our little piece back to the community, back to the economy, help people get back on track. And right now we're covering this book, Lead Generate 61 Days to Double Your Pay. We're actually on day 26. Big shout out to my assistant, Danielle, who jumped in and did a couple days for me when we were out of town. But here on day 26, and if you're tuning in here on Zoom a little bit late because we started a little bit early, I apologize. If you're watching this on Facebook, click the like button, say thank you, put something in the comments. Because I want to know that this conversation is going somewhere, right? And we're engaging with the audience here that we have here in the group. So day 26, let me grab a drink here. Day 26, your voice is all you need. I am a big fan of handwritten notes, constant contact for email blasts, other form of written communication. At various times, I've used Facebook Messenger, this app called Mighty Text, company-sponsored CRM, Instagram, LinkedIn, all kinds of different ways to try to get in touch with clients, existing referral sources, potential referral sources. Like, the power of social media cannot be overlooked. However, there's 2 things that I have learned from using dozens of different methods and strategies for communication. Number one, with rare exception, you cannot afford the cost, the time, or the training that it takes to create a substitute for your voice. And what I mean by this is that your communication style, your style of writing, your idiosyncrasies, they're all your own, right? Consumers and referral sources have become way too savvy, educated, and immune to this technique of mass marketers. We can tell, when you get an email, you can tell when somebody's sending you a form letter or a company-sponsored marketing blast or a cut and paste. There's a saying that Gary Vaynerchuk, who's a very interesting marketer, big social media personality. You should check him out if you don't know who he is, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's written a bunch of great books like Jab, 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 Right Hook, Crushing It, a bunch of books. He says that marketers ruin everything, right? And so you have to have things in your voice when you're sending them out, when you're calling, when you're sending messages. I've got a executive assistant, a virtual assistant here who are amazing. They're side by side with me or on webinars with me hours and hours and hours every single day. And still, when I'm a little overwhelmed and they have to jump in and respond to me, respond as me, either an email or Facebook Messenger or text message, whatever, the client or the person on the other end can always tell that it's not quite me. So your voice is really all you need in marketing. And then the second thing that this has taught me is that nothing works better than a phone call and hearing somebody's voice on the other line, right? There is no substitute for the sound of a familiar voice, a family voice, a voice that can instill confidence. Even if that voice is only heard via voicemail, which is getting more and more challenging because more and more voicemails are being auto-deleted, your voice is more powerful than all of the other dozens of communication platforms out there, right? Look, I get it. I even wrote this in the book. We all have lazy days where we want to hide behind email, Facebook Messenger, social media blasts. However, please keep in mind that if you spend too many days mistaking these marketing activities, putting information out there, for lead generation activities, which is actually making the phone calls, deepening the relationship, asking for the business, you're going to find that your pipeline in 90 days is going to dramatically suffer. So we must constantly be working on our sales calls, right? Regardless of what industry you're in, I don't care what you sell, what service you provide, what business you're in. There's 3 tips that I put in here for working on your sales calls, your follow-up calls, your connection calls. One is you've got to be creating enough value, having great connection, having great conversations that people want to pick up your phone call or return your message, right? Because if you're just calling with really no plan, no connection, no deeper meaning, no reason that you're calling to deepen or instill confidence in that relationship, people just stop taking your calls, right? And then they start auto deleting your voicemails, and then they start ignoring your texts. I've been there with many relationships before. So we've got to remember, as we're making these calls, we've either got to be connecting genuinely, providing great content, or adding some type of value to those client or referral sources that we're calling. Number two, you've got to, and this kind of relates directly to number one, you've got to make these calls in hopes of having quality conversations or leaving great messages. If you've ever gotten on a sales call and been like, oh God, I hope they don't answer, that means that you're not really calling with the intention of connecting, right? So if you're having that feeling multiple times in a day where you're like, oh, I hope they don't answer, I can just leave a voicemail, you need to do a couple things. You probably need to go for a walk around the block, grab an iced tea, reconnect somehow through journaling or affirmations or a gratitude list. You need to connect to your purpose. And then you need to make these calls with more intention. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Where are you?
Oh, I'm talking to this meeting call. You want to say hi?
Why you need the book?
Because I'm reading my book. Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Hello. They're all watching, hopefully, on Facebook. So, but they'll say hi to you.
But I can't see them.
I know you can't see them because they're on the other side. Okay, I love you. I'll be outside in a minute, okay?
They're outside.
Yeah, they're on the other side, like on TikTok. Yeah, we made the mistake of letting my 4-year-old watch some dancing videos on TikTok, and now he's obsessed. All right, so number one was make sure that you're creating enough value or content that people pick up your call. Number two is know that you're making those calls to have quality communication. And then number three, have a plan to engage the client or referral source who is gracious enough to spend the time picking up the phone call or meeting in person, right? So what is your plan to give them value, to give them great information, to put everything into context so that they want to pick up your call? So again, this is Scott Groves, just here in the Generate group, doing my little piece to give back to you all, get this economy back on track. You know, because I look at people's finances all day long, both in coaching and mortgage and whatnot, I see kind of where trajectory of things are going. And it's really nice to see some businesses opening back up, some revenues coming back to where they were pre-COVID-19 for a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses are pretty excited to get at it again. So anyway, if you have any questions or if you watched this, leave a comment, leave a like, do something, share it, start a watch party. Again, if there's anybody else who sells something, generates a lead, generates a sale, is fully commissioned, they need to be in this group. So add them to the group and we'll get some more great stuff going in content. And today, you're definitely going to want to watch the interview with John Israel. Mr. Thank You.